you, Mr. Presiding Officer, and thank you to my fellow Board of Commissioners for the opportunity. Back in February of 2020, we had a conversation, and I guess I'd say I received your support in moving forward with the development of a youth farm for DeKalb County. After over a year of work, research, engagement of everyone from our cooperative extension service for the testing of soil, to Georgia Tech University, who has worked alongside me. Today, I would like to report our plan of action. What you're going to see is the most condensed version that we could provide within the time that's allotted, but you will see what I consider to be a very transformative project for DeKalb that includes everything from whimsical pads to the use of reclaimed wood, the extreme incorporation of elements of nature. We have both hydroponic and aquaponic stations that will be utilized. We have permeable pavers as well as packed gravel so that the entire facility will be ADA compliant so that all can enjoy it. Over 164 raised beds, a state-of-the-art greenhouse, as well as an edible environment. And at this time, I have two students who have worked alongside me, two of many, that will actually present the report. I have Mr. Ishwar Ramin, and also reporting today is Miss Alexandria Watson. So Ishwar, I believe you have control, and I will allow you at this time to move forward and present to my esteemed colleagues.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning for our presentation on the E.M.B.A.R.C Community Youth Farm. E.M.B.A.R.C represents education, market, botanicals, agriculture, and recreational center, all of which are encompassed within the project. So our site encompasses various programs. Starting at number 1, we have the main entries towards the site. Then at number 2, we have the farming fields area. Number 3, we have the picnic pavilion. Number 4, we have the weekends farmers market, which is also currently a basketball court. We have the pool house at number 5, and then number 6 is the largest pool in DeKalb County currently. Number 7, we have the tennis courts. Number 8, we have the store/market. Number 9, we have the herb garden. Number 10, we have the greenhouse. Number 11 is the education center. Number 12 is the existing pond. 13 is the activities center. 14, we have the athletic fields. 15, the orchards. 16, the northern parking, and then 17, the southern parking. So for our project, we have the proposed scheduled groundbreaking ceremony currently for April 19th, which is during the same week of Earth Day. So first we'll begin with the market buildings. So the market is aligned on axis with the farming fields to the west and the herb garden to the south, as well as the area of the greenhouse. And then further south, we have the outdoor activities building, which also houses orchards. It is also on a diagonal access with the pond and the pool. The market is made up of 2 freestanding buildings, and both buildings have various programs which are encompassed within both. The 2 main programs being a store and a test kitchen. So the main approach that was taken towards the design of the market is the connection to the community through cultivation, education, commerce, and to create an equal and accessible experience for all visitors. So looking at the main circulation of the market, as you approach the store, you enter through the corner, right, being on axis with the pond, and then you allow for a visual experience between the farming fields to the north and then the farming to the south, which is all ADA accessible. Looking at the floor plan, the store area covers a total of 4,000 square feet. The market building houses a stockroom, restrooms, a checkout counter, and produce shelving. The other building that's nearby houses the test kitchen, which also has various other shelving and tables, as well as the main kitchen area. This section here shows the connection between the 2 buildings, with the store portion to the west and then the test kitchen portion to the east. There are large roll-up doors on either side to allow for visual access, both internally and externally. and physical access as well. So looking at the first aerial view, we see the connection between the three main buildings that are on the site. We have the market store building here, and then we have the pool house to the center, and then the large pavilion to the most west. The second aerial view highlights the connection that the store market area has to the herb garden, and then the connection that the pool house has to the large pool, and then the connection that the pavilion has to the tennis courts, which all three also connect to. So these are the precedents that we utilized to design the market and test kitchen. Looking at the various materials that were utilized, we tried to keep it as natural as possible, utilizing minimally carbon impact materials. So this is our first perspective. As you approach the store, you can see the visual connection that you have as a portal, a painting that could possibly be hung on the wall, and then you see the connection that the two individual stores buildings have with each other. As you approach through the two buildings, you look backwards and then you see the parking lot where you had once left. Further, going through the portal, you enter the other side of the buildings where you will approach the whimsical herb garden and then have a visual to the pool area and then other portions of the site. You then make your way down the large platform, which is also ADA accessible, and then enter the whimsical garden, which is both a unique experience for adults and children alike. We then turn back towards the store, and then you are then approached by these large roll-up doors, which allow for a visual connection when closed, but then open, you are allowed easy physical access connection. We then see the platform that the overall building is rested upon, as well as a location where deliveries can be made. We then return back to the portal entrance that is exhibited by the connection between the two freestanding buildings. We enter the store portion of the market, and we are greeted by these shelvings, which were designed particularly for the store portion. We are then entering the test kitchen portion, which these rotating multi-purpose tables were designed. And here's the design for that mechanism. We also designed a hanging cubbies from the ceiling, which will be utilized in the test kitchen portion of the market. We will then transition to the fields farming portion of the project. The image here depicts the entrance to the main north fields where most of the farming is conducted. The majority of the site utilizes permeable pavers, which you see here on the floor, which is both ADA accessible and water management friendly. This is a plan for the north fields, which is the main portion where all of the produce will be produced. It currently contains 134 planter beds, which houses various fruits and vegetables. There are also various roundabouts to facilitate circulation. We have a main central access, which is in connection with the market store. Then we have three main vertical axes. The center vertical axis has beehives to the north and then chicken coops to the south. Then we have the western vertical axis. We have restrooms to the south and then a sundial to the north. And then on the eastern vertical axis, we have covered composting to the north and then a connection pathway to the education center, which will be explained later. And there are also various sculptures throughout the site, which highlight various times in DeKalb history. We also have a harvesting calendar here to suggest the maximum harvesting season for the various fruits and veggies, which will be grown in the fields area with 4 main berry patches as well. We then approach the next portion of the fields area, which is the large greenhouse. The large greenhouse houses an aquaponic system, as Commissioner had mentioned earlier, as well as a hydroponic system and ebb and flow benches, and then housing for more fragile flora. This is an aerial view of the greenhouse area and then a formalized garden, which was designed in front of that, as well as an additional 30 planter beds for various fruits and vegetables. We can also see the aquaponic system here and then the hydroponic system here. These are also elevations from the front and back of the greenhouse. And now I'll pass it off to my colleague.
All right, we're going to go through the southernmost portion of the site now, along with the education center. The south portion of the site, pictured here, is home to many important amenities. but most importantly, it acts as a hub of outdoor activity on the site. The converted barn will become an outdoor activities building where guests can sign up for classes, check out or rent sports equipment, and it features large locker rooms for storage and refreshments. Directly adjacent to the building is the rock wall, which has been moved from its original location, and a soccer field. Other features include a dedicated parking lot, picnic tables, benches, orchards, and the start of an extensive trail network that will go to the west. Highlighted in red is the existing horse farm, which will be converted into the outdoor activities building. It is in moderate condition. The structure is sound, but the roof will need to be replaced. There are several holes in the concrete foundation. Fixing these things is the first step to transforming the barn into a comfortable building. Enclosing the barn is the next step. Pictured here are the current exterior walls. This is the perfect condition for horse stables, as horses could stick their heads outside, but less than optimal for human privacy, rain protection, or climate control. To enclose the building, we will keep the red roof siding planks, fill in any gaps in the boards, and replace the top open portion with glazing. This preserves the look of the barn while also updating the building. Our proposed changes to the exterior walls include some additional materials that will need to be bought or donated. This first section of renderings shows how parents can watch their kids from the northern or western covered porches attached to the building. And now on to the interior. Having a hub for the sports facilities and other activities that exist on the site will encourage people to come inside and outside, explore the site, and further their overall health. As mentioned before, the corrugated metal roof will need to be replaced. We have estimated the costs and plan to keep the roof as aluminum or tin as it is now. Lastly, the barn will have an addition of solar panels onto the southern portion of the roof. This side of the roof receives the most sun, and according to our research and consultation with an MEP engineer, the power gained from the solar panels will be enough to run the converted outdoor activities building. Returning on initial costs will take about 4 years. The existing facilities, such as the barn, offer a unique opportunity by renovating the challenge course, archery range, rock wall, and kayak hut. And with support, enormous value can be added to the site with a much smaller amount of time, effort, and money invested. All right, we are now shifting to the education center. Nested between the northern fields and the pond, the education space supports the overall theme of health and wellness, allowing for an outdoor space that gives a location for teaching and events. An aerial view of the education center allows us to see the curved design plan with seating and a boardwalk that circumnavigates the stage. Here, a diagram represents locations available for viewing and seating off of the stage. It includes 300 seats, 56 of which are ADA accessible, and in the standing region that surrounds the dock, there is room for another 25 viewers. Showing a slightly different view, we can begin to see the roof structure and the green space that overlooks the stage. The roofing structure shows how the two wings slant inwards. This purposeful design is intended to allow the roof to become a catchment area for rainfall to use as irrigation. So now shifting, we're going to talk about the phasing of construction on the site for the entire program. Phase 1 will encompass the picnic pavilion, weekend farmers market, fields phase 1, entrance signage, and the pool. This is scheduled to take place between May 2021 and October 2021. Phase 2 encompasses the pool house, tennis court renovations, fields phase 2, machinery storage, greenhouse construction, store and test kitchen, and parking. This is scheduled to take place between May 2021 and September 2022. Phase 3 encompasses Outdoor Activity Center, Fields Phase 3, the Amphitheater/Education Center, Herb Garden. This is scheduled to take place between September 2022 and May 2023. And finally, the two parts of Phase 4. For A, it's Fields Phase 4A, the soccer field, archery, and challenge course. This is scheduled to take place between May 2023 and July 2023. And finally, the last phase encompasses the last portion of fields, pond and docks, pond restoration, and finally the living creatures of chicken and bees. This will take place between May 2023 and September 2023. So from start of this May 2021, it will be done in September of 2023. So now moving forward to how we get the word out. We have already begun and have launched a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for E.M.B.A.R.C Community Youth Farm. And we have now created a website, which we will go through next.
When you look at the website, we're going to quickly run through this because there is a lot to discuss. And of course, we can come back at a separate time for those discussions. But I do want to make you aware that phases 1 through 4 have a price tag of $1,534,858.58. We have in hand enough for the completion of both phases 1 and 2. And beyond that, I will continue my conversations to gather the remaining funds that would be necessary, which is slightly under $400,000. What the students have amassed here is absolutely remarkable. The engineers who have worked with us, and I must also state publicly that I'd like to thank Arthur Blank and the Candida Fund, who of course the Candida Building for Innovation and Sustainable Design is located on the campus of Georgia Tech, and they have been most generous in donating product and materials that were left over from the building of that center. So our youth farm will actually have inside reclaimed wood from cathedrals and buildings that are hundreds of years old, so that it adds both to the aesthetics and the uniqueness of the facility. What you have here now is our website. We are fully ready to launch, and on this website, you will actually see video because many of the shelving systems that you've seen have already been created by the students. And we will actually begin bringing those things in this week. So this gives you a look at our homepage. If you will now go over to programs, Ishwar, on the programs page, we teach at our youth farm entrepreneurship, urban farming. We have, of course, the farmers market that will take place each Saturday, so local farmers can bring in freshly grown food. We also have, of course, the bee farm where students will harvest fresh honey. We have a hen house where we will harvest eggs. Of course, our hydroponics and aquaponics station, as well as activities. This particular park will accommodate paddle boating, as well as zip lining, and a variety of outdoor activities to get children out and get them engaged. I'm also in conversation with Junior Achievement because I would like to incorporate their model of entrepreneurship, and I will continue to update the county as that conversation manifests because I have developed an entire proposal for them to have a presence here through, of course, the Chick-fil-A Foundation and my dear friend, Mr. Rodney Bullard. Now, if you'd like to click on the country store just to give an aesthetic there, Ishwar, I would appreciate it. Of course, this gives the design of the store itself and speaks a little bit about it. In terms of get involved, it tells the community how they can get involved. Once we begin full operation, each month a calendar will be placed on that segment of the website. If you would click quickly on the gallery, Ishwar, this is where you can see the actual items that we have built out. And you'll also see us there with our raised elevations as we begin the project. I'd like to thank you all for the many trips you've made out to walk the land with me and to work towards this. But many of the shelving systems that you see there, those are actual photos that we have completed. And the last page is the teams page. And this is probably the most important. If you will click on Meet the Team and just go down, because of course I said I'm not the important person here. If you would stop here with Mr. Herman Howard. I'm not sure if he was able to make the call today, but he is a noted and highly acclaimed architect. And I'm thankful that when I had the conversation with him, he understood the vision. If you will continue to scroll down, you will see my team. These are the students who have worked with me all year long to ensure what you see today would manifest. There is no words nor money that could, shall I say, make them whole for what they've given me and given to us here in DeKalb County. So to each of you, to Tiffany, Rob, Rayvon, who is also a DeKalb County resident, Michael, Maury, anyone that I'm leaving out, thank you so much if you're a part of this call. And at this time, I will yield back to the presiding officer so we can move forward with the business of DeKalb. And if there are any questions, we're more than happy to entertain them at this time, or I'm more than happy to come to committee. I'd also like to say, now that we've pushed or kicked this can down the road and we're ready to begin with the installation and the groundbreaking, I have some other ideas concerning affordable housing, because what you see here is nothing less than remarkable, because independent of the resources, the reclaimed wood, the use of solar energy, and a variety of products that are sustainable, this would be a multi-million-dollar project. But only through the vision of the students and the hard work to identify resources that fell within our budget would we be able to create such a massive project with such minimal budget. So thank you to my fellow Board of Commissioners, and I will accept or answer any questions at this time.